Part 11. People's relationship to God changed. In 1517, Martin Luther had lit the bonfire that was the Protestant Reformation. Luther believed that a Christian needed to have a personal relationship with God that was based solely on the plain language of the Scriptures. A Christian was responsible for their own salvation and needed and had a right to do their own scriptural study. The core idea that you could do and had a right to do your own studying and thinking about God radically redefined man's relationship with God, and it opened the door to redefining who and what God actually was. The right to personal theology became the freedom of conscience, freedom of thought, and ultimately freedom of religion. And there were unforeseen and unwanted consequences as well. Because of the Reformation, we got the Enlightenment and what we have as our inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Because unlike the Catholic Church, there was no central Protestant ecclesiastical authority between 1517 and 1787, Europe and England saw a constant bubbling up of new Christian groups, from the Church of England and Lutherans and Puritans to radical fringe groups such as the Muggletonians, the Dollarites, and the Ephrata cloister. Many of these landed or home grew in the colonies. By 1787, America was a country where official state religions had existed for years, side by side with a substantial number of unlicensed, unapproved, but tolerated Christian sects, with new ones showing up all the time. Along with the new groups came new theologies about the Creator. The best known of these was Deism. Deism held that although there was a Creator, he took no active role in human affairs. Deism largely rejected the Christian view of Christ. It taught that morals were derived from reason and natural principles and did not require God, Jesus, or the Bible. Deism was never a religion. There were no prophets, no scriptures, no ministers, no churches. It never even had a wide following, but it did get lots of buzz, and many of the founders agreed with or were, let's say, Deist curious. That's because, while most of the founders were Christian to some degree, they were also creatures of the Enlightenment and believed strongly in human rights, liberty, and freedom of thought and religion. Deism was a middle way that accepted the existence of a deity, but explained and justified liberty and moral behavior without having to resort to traditional biblical authority. That was an attractive synthesis of modern and traditional thought. So many of the founders, such as Washington, Jefferson, Franklin, Madison, and Monroe, embraced Deism or its ideas to at least some degree. It's important here because Deism's emphasis on a non-Christian basis for human rights and individual freedom meant the framers in the secular republic did not need or want divine approval and had no need or benefit from being entangled with religion. The takeaway is important. By 1787, the moral weight and authority of governmentally coerced specific Christianity was greatly diminished. The perception of the need for an official national Christianity largely did not exist.